Okay, so I have yet to be advised by my cooking coach, but I'm going to try to make a vegetable beef soup here. I've got the biggest pot I got on the stove. This is some nice beef I got this morning at the market there. I think it's short ribs cut up. Of course, 4 pieces of celery, 4 carrots, 4 potatoes, 4 cloves of garlic, I think, and an onion. I think this is what I need. Okay, so I didn't hear from my cooking coach yet. Maybe in another hour. Hope I didn't go too far here. I don't like things cut up into wee tiny pieces. I like them a little bit chunkier. This is medium-ish. I hope that cooks right. The celery and the onion. And I don't know exactly what to do with this garlic yet. The beef, I should probably get the oil in the frame here. And that's what we're going to start out with here. I added the oil in here. I think this is going to be a good oil to use. Extra virgin olive oil. I don't know, maybe it should be sunflower oil or something might be better. But I did want to add, in case I'm feeling crotchety later, this little segment where I show the compost that was created from these 4 potatoes, 4 carrots, 4 pieces of celery, and an onion. And that's going out to the compost pile instead of in the trash. Here's the crotchety guy and me coming out. My family's been composting since I can remember, and probably since forever, instead of wasting it in the garbage. So, you know, I guess it's a little bit of a luxury to have a little bit of ground where you can compost, because that will turn into better vegetables next year. Okay, so I talked this over with my cooking consultant, and this is going to basically be a boiled soup. I'm not going to pre-brown the meat because that makes carcinogens, that brown stuff. It tastes the same. So I'm starting off here with 1 liter of vegetable stock. Okay, and then the beef goes in there with that. So, brodo di vedore. Okay, and I had to add a little bit of water, so to make sure it's nice and rich, I'm going to put this cuore di brodo. It's cuore, I think, is heart of broth or something. It's a beef broth, low salt. Oh, proto 2 liters. Okay, so this will make 2 liters, so I can even add more water here. Okay, I think it's a good idea. Make more soup. Added more water. I've probably got 3 liters of water in here total. I'm going to have to spoon this out and just let it boil. Okay, I've got all the time in the world here to let this come up, and it's got 2 hours to go. I'm told I can do this at, maybe the last half hour. And what I'm going to do here is start by getting the onions browned. And I didn't smash my garlic yet. I should have done that. But let's get the onions in there and keep an eye on them. I'll just crush 4 cloves of garlic in there. Okay. Start putting my garlic in. And when the onions are clear, I gotta keep stirring them, make sure they don't burn. Then the carrots go in here. They get sauteed with this. Then goes in the celery, and then that will go into the pot once that's all done. And that should be done easily within the hour. So it'll be just sitting here waiting to go into the soup when that's close to being done. So the soup started to form that kind of stuff on the top, which needs to be skimmed off of there. But for now, let's just go ahead and put the lid back on and give it some more time while we tend to these onions and garlic. Okay, they're sizzling here. I'm just gonna add a little bit more oil. I just don't see how that can hurt. Just to make sure it doesn't stick. Okay, so the onions are clear, and it's pretty clear, most of them. And so in goes the carrots. Okay. And those are just going to get, well, it smells better already. Somebody said, a really good cook that I know, wish he was my consultant still, but I haven't talked to him for a while, that this triplet here, the onions, the carrots, and the celery, he had a name for it, like the Holy Trinity of cooking or something like that. It was, you know how nice that starts to smell after a bit. Perfect for a rainy day. Okay, we're still simmering away here, sauteing the carrots. I'm gonna have to try that food processor one of these times because I'm not particular enough to screw around trying to get carrots all cut consistently. If they were a little smaller, they'd probably be sauteing better and more consistently. I'm just gonna keep stirring it here and watch the onions, make sure I don't burn the onions, and get them as sauteed as I can. Now, meanwhile, over here at the beef, yeah, this had come up to a good ripping boil a while ago, and I turned it down, and it's been sitting here for about 5 minutes on a low simmer, but it hasn't formed that, I don't know, scummy foam on top. And maybe this is just a quality of Italian beef. Not sure what that foam is, but I'll keep an eye to see if any forms and ladle it off. But all I've got on top of here is some little beads of fat and, you know, kind of a beefy looking colored stalk there. I'd say that's on its way. I'm going to put the lid back on here. And just crack the lid a little bit, like so, just a little crack there, like that. And that's about as low fire as I can maintain. I might switch it over to this boiler after a bit, but that's not a thick bottom pan. Yeah, I'll just see where it is. Okay, now over here, meanwhile, I've got some garlic getting a little too brown there in the middle, so I need to keep stirring this so we don't get any more of that happening. Well, I think these have sauteed enough. Let's try one. That's getting a little soft. Not real soft. So I guess they'll soften up too when you cook them. I don't know. Tasty carrot there. Anyway, okay. I think it's time to add the celery. Now we got all three main ingredients in there. Keep this moving until that celery starts to look like it's cleared. And this can sit and wait for the beef to cook. So what do we got here? About another hour and 15 minutes until the beef is ready. Then this will go in the pot with the potatoes and boil a little more, and then we'll have it. Okay, I keep waiting for this foam to appear on top. It's not happening, so it's just simmering, but I think I'm going to just go ahead for the heck of it and give a little bit of Liam Perrins there. I'm sure that was maybe a teaspoon of it, just a couple splashes. Because I'm not adding salt, but the Liam Perrins is salty, so that will add a little bit of salt plus some other, you know, tasty flavors. The Worcestershire sauce. That's good stuff. And how are we doing here? Yep, guess some of the celery is starting to clear up there. So we'll just keep stirring this and put the lid back on that. Okay, that deglazing idea was probably not the best, but it's not going to end up hurting anything. So I'm just going to let that wine cook down and cook off of there, really. Put a little bit more oil in. And that's going to bring the cooking temperature back up from the boiling point of water to the well, not the boiling point of the oil. I'm not really making the oil bubble and sizzle, but well, yeah, it will definitely increase the cooking temperature. And in the meantime, we'll have that wine taste in here among the veggies, so that's not a bad thing. So even though it was a mistake, it's not a bad mistake. You have to learn from your mistakes, right? Okay, things are still looking pretty good here. I've got my little test piece of carrot here, which is getting kind of good and nice. And the medium and smaller pieces are good. So that's fine. And my celery, this is my, set these aside, is also starting to clear up. It's got a little bit of wine color around the edges, which I don't know if that's appetizing, if it's visually appealing or not, but I'm fairly certain that that will kind of be tasty. I'm tempted to throw some pepper in here just because I'm tempted to throw pepper into everything, but I'll resist. Oh, let's check out the broth. Yeah, with the lid on there, it's boiling along pretty good. Oh, we're getting a little bit of stuff on the top here, a little bit of that, whatchamacallit, you know, that stuff that floats to the top. It's very, very little though, but I'm going to ladle that out of there. Can you see that? Yeah, I'm not sure how to get out this little bit of this sort of stuff that comes to the top. There's so little of it, I'm not sure it's even bad. It might be some kind of a aspect of the bone marrow. But normally, I guess, when you boil beef, it gets a bunch of this stuff out and a big clump on top that you can use a spoon like this to get it out with. But this is not your regular beef. Okay, this is about an hour into it. I'm going to drain my potatoes because it'll be coming up time soon to put them into the beef and stock. I'll grab my spoon. The veggies are coming along pretty nicely. There's my bigger pieces, and I can feel it's nice. And this big piece here is getting clear. So yeah, the veggies are looking pretty good. They're back up now. Obviously, all the wine's boiled off, and now we're back down to, you know, more of a little bit higher temperature, kind of a saute mode here, but with the added flavor of the wine. So I think that's not going to be a bad thing. Now, let's check out the stock here, or not the stock, but the beef cooking. It's bubbling along nicely there. And a little bit of that whitish stuff on top, but I do not think that's anything bad. It's impossible to remove anyway. So we'll see. I guess while we're here, I should probably poke at this beef a little bit, just for the fun of it. See here. Okay. Now this started out as some sort of a bit of a short rib, it was actually a beef rib, right? But they had cut it about every, I don't know, let's say 2 inches at the bone, maybe 3, which is what, 25, 40, millimeters. And yep, I'm poking at it here. It's getting soft, and it's certainly looking like a nice beefy broth. So this is gonna be good, I think. It smells good anyway. I don't know if it'll be good or not, but you know, I cooked it, so I'll eat it. Okay, so I'm going to turn the fire off here on the Triple Crown, or the Triple Trinity, or whatever we want to call that. It does smell very good. So, and the potatoes, in anticipation of putting them in here, I poured the water off. I did learn that you keep them in underwater just to keep them from getting, you know, brown. You know, nice, looks more like a nice fresh potato if they're nice and white. But sadly, I've got to probably, what is it here? I'm thinking about another 25 minutes, half an hour, until the beef is cooked long enough. You know, it's tender now, but just give that more time. And then we'll put these 3 together. Okay, what do we have? After 2 hours, it's been exactly 2 hours, And the beef has been simmering here, bubbling away with the vegetable stock and some added water to make up the volume, and a little bit of beef cuore, it's just like probably beef bouillon, something like that. And the vegetables are waiting patiently here, but it's probably time to put this all together. So a little bit of fat on top, which is a good thing. Come on, steam, go away. And none of that foamy stuff. It never came up. So, according to my consultant, the vegetables go next, and the potatoes. And when the potatoes are done, this will be done. Okay, so it's not going to be a pot roast. That's going to be done in a Dutch oven. But it's a potato and a potato vegetable soup is what it is. Okay, so the celery and carrots and onions are in the pot. And this last little bit, I'm going to really take a little bit of time to scrape it out. It's the onions that have been floating around in the bottom that were sort of caramelizing the entire time. Okay, then we add the potatoes. Hoping this doesn't splash out too much. Just here by the edge of the pot. And, okay, potatoes are in there. So now, just have to wait for the potatoes to cook. This has been in here 2 hours and 5 minutes with the beef cooking. I'm going to grab my spoon and just leave this on low because I think the beef broth is hot. It's obviously hot. It was just boiling a minute ago before I added the veggies. So it'll start to cook the potatoes, and then we'll let it come up to a little bit of a boil for a while until the potatoes are soft, and then this is done. Okay, the timer just went off. 30 minutes, and this is smelling fantastic. So that the 30-minute timer was for the potatoes. And let's just fish one out of here. I might have had the lid on there a little bit too tight, but this is kind of nice and brothy, which is good, if the broth is good. And that's, I guess, one of the bigger potatoes here. So I'm just going to let that cool and eat it. If that's done, you can tell by the aroma, this is done. It does smell pretty good. So, okay, that potato was nice. Soft, still tastes like a potato. Didn't absorb totally every flavor in the pot here, which is not a bad thing. So I'm going to turn this off and get ready to have some dinner. Okay, so while I'm waiting for this bowl of soup to cool, I've got this butter dish here waiting because I'm going to freeze some of this. So let's just get it in there and put a lid on, let it cool. Well, let it cool and then I'll put the lid on, I guess, and then to the freezer some of it goes. Okay, so I put some aside to go in the freezer. Now what I'm going to do, it's nice and brothy, which is good, and the broth tastes very good. So that's nice. So I put some pepper on here, and I'm just going to put a little bit more broth here in with the soup, just for the heck of it. Okay, so there you have it. It's beef vegetable soup. And I've been sampling this. I like it. I suppose taste isn't universal, and it might not be everybody's taste, but it's pretty good to me. And I think this is the proof of the pudding. is the broth all by itself any good? And there's a fair amount of fat floating on the top. Yeah, you get the onions, you get the celery, you get the vegetable tastes, which are nice, you know, and the beefy tastes. It's a good soup. And then there's the beef in it. So how do we like this beef? Yeah. That's good. So the plan here is to enjoy these veggies and the beef, and then that'll leave me with some broth, and that's where these crackers are going. And just if you're curious what the last couple of bites of this look like, there's a little bit of broth left, so these are wheat crackers. They're kind of like saltines, but more of a wheat cracker, kind of a saltine. Pretty good. You know, suck up that broth. And that's it. Bon appetit.